Hello everyone, welcome back to another remote sensing lecture video. And in this lecture video, I want to continue our discussion on training data criteria by talking about the idea of distribution. Right, and so distribution in many ways is similar to the idea of completeness, but the idea with distribution is that you want to make sure that your training samples are spread out across the study area. Right? And again, this sort of mirrors that idea of completeness, but rather than covering the entire spectral range, we want to kind of cover the entire physical range. And so just like last time, let's go ahead and start with this idea of water. All right, so we're going to digitize some water training data. Our good example, and our bad example. Okay. So a good example, right, would be to make sure that we get trained data from over here, kind of in the middle. Again, trying to make sure that we also get the full spectral variation. Right, you'll see that I'm trying to cover, the entire study area, or as much of it as possible, right? I'm not going to put water over here where there is no water. Obviously, that wouldn't make sense, right? That would violate the information homogeneity. But within reason, right, make sure that all of my water is coming from across the study area. Okay, so this is good, right? We have completeness, obviously, but we also have project-wide distribution. So let's look at an example of what would be a bad distribution, but still maintaining completeness, right? What we would do in that case is we would actually zoom in here, right? So we've got some deep water right here. We'd say, okay, well, that's good. We got that spectral representation. We've got some shallow water right here. So that's good, right? And then we might grab a couple from the river, say like here. Right? Even though technically we have completeness, right? We've represented the spectral range for deep and shallow and river. We've done it in just a very small area of the image, right? So this is bad in terms of distribution. Now, even though I said this technically met the criteria of completion, the thing that you have to think about is that, remote sensing is a very complex science. And so even though technically this is all deep water, right, there may be some underlying changes in variation, spectral variation, I should say, from across the image. Right? So even though technically we think we got the completeness by cramming everything in here, right, by not spreading out across the study area, we may actually have missed something. Right? So distribution and completeness kind of go hand in hand. Completeness is talking about covering the spectral range. Distribution is talking about covering the physical range. This one's a little bit easier to wrap your head around, I think. So hopefully that makes sense. And if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.